All right, let's get started then. The 2014 Maserati Quattroporte, the SQ4, whatever it is, with the 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine. Produces 404 horsepower, 406 pounds-feet of torque. And who do we have to thank for this opportunity? It is none other than Cary Imports. So I will leave all their information in the description box because if you are interested in purchasing this vehicle, well, you should know that a warranty will be a must because I know the price might seem attractive to you, about a little under $35,000 with about, let's see here, 35,000 miles on it. So the mileage and the price almost match. Would you look at that? Trust me, I know it might seem tempting, but you can probably even pay for this thing in cash, but definitely make sure to take advantage of their warranty because that will cover you of the myriad of issues that this may or may not have. Anyway, that's on you. Let's go ahead and let's get started with this review because I've actually already done a review on the V8 powered, the GTS model of the Quattroporte, and I like the car. I like the way it drove. However, the V8s, at least the twin turbocharged V8s that you find in either this vehicle or a lot of these German cars, right, making high horsepower, well over 500 horsepower, it's not the crazy nutty experience that you might think it is. It's just a nice, smooth, effortless thrust that you get, but you're going to be able to get that here with this V6 as well. Holy shit, yeah, this thing sounds good, and also it's plenty quick. Don't worry about that. There's a slight little delay there, but aside from that, it reacted really well. We can put it into the sport mode if we want to, and I just did. We'll take the traction control off to get the maximum thrust, the best reaction, if you will, and the car handles beautifully for sure. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You don't need the V8, trust me. And I'm going to keep this review brief because I've already reviewed this car. I went to a lot of detail in my original GTS review. So this is just going to be my main impressions about driving the V6 and Maserati as a whole. And I'll talk about this real quick. I think this is one of the most beautiful looking sedans that you can possibly get, no doubt about it. This is one of my most favorite designs. Back in 2014, this is one of the first model years, and I really love the way that this car looks, and it's aged so well, even after all these years. But you have eyes, you can decide for yourself if you like the way that this car looks. Let's just go into the driving aspects now. So I drove the V8 and it was smooth, it was powerful, it was quiet, it was befitting of a flagship vehicle. And this is also like a 6-figure car, brand new, the MSRP anyway. It's about $102,000 for this twin turbo V6. And a lot of the price premium that you're paying for this is due to the engine because this is a Ferrari derived engine, both the V8 and this V6. And these things are built in Maranello. And sorry, I got a little distracted. There's a nice little lady here. She's taking notice to the Maserati, nice young lady. So that might be reason enough for some people to pull the trigger on it, but no, that's not why you should be buying it. Anyway, yeah, you got these Ferrari-derived engines. It does sound great. It's one of the best-sounding V6 engines. And we also have here a 8-speed ZF transmission. Yeah, both the downshifts and the upshifts, they both react really well in this vehicle. The ride quality in sport mode, it does firm up a little bit more, I have noticed that. But it's still comfortable, if that makes sense. But one of the main reasons why you might be interested in the Maserati is because this is going to be one of the best handling big body sedans that you can possibly get into. Aside from the BMW 7 Series and the Jaguar XJ, this is going to have that swagger that you want out of a big body, but also just an amazing handling characteristic. It feels like half its size when you're kind of whipping it around. All the agility and the reactions of this car, it's all on point. And this thing is very massive, about 207 inches long. And these things weigh around 4,200 pounds, 4,300 pounds, something like that, which is not bad for a vehicle of this size and stature, right? But it's easy to drive, it's easy to place out on the road. I just wish that the rear windshield provided a little bit better visibility, but it's not bad for the most part. And I'm about to take this vehicle over some more jittery roads here in a little bit. That'll really kind of test out the suspension, because even in the regular mode, it certainly feels firmer than the competitors. So when you put it into the sport suspension, of course. It's got 20-inch wheels on it, wrapped in 245 wide tires in the front, and we have 285s in the rear. It's a little excessive considering the fact that this is all-wheel drive. Maybe like a 255 squared would have been enough. Test out this handling here. It grips really well. It really is one of the better handling, full-size luxury sedans that you can get into for sure. It's kind of a decent blend between the BMW and the Jaguar XJ. I think officially the best handling big body car would be the Jaguar XJ. It has like that, it's like the name suggests, that little cat-like demeanor. It's very nimble. But this is great in its own right. There's not a crazy amount of body roll with this or anything like that. But let's be honest here, you really don't care if this is a Ferrari engine or if it drives well or whatever. You just want to whip that Maserati around. That's all you care about. You just want to get that badge, that prestige. You just want people looking at you, like that nice young lady that was eyeing me up. She was in that little red Ford Focus, right? That's what you want. That's the main reason for buying something like this, for sure. And you buy a car like this, it's like pretty much fully depreciated, and you still get a low mileage example, and you know what I'm saying, you still look like you're driving around a brand new six-figure object. And it is very quick, no problems there. And it's not crazy loud, but it gives you a nice little farting effect when you kind of let off the throttle or when it upshifts a gear, so it's very cool in that regard. So I think you get the point. The main thing that we needed to check out here was that V6 engine, that 3-liter twin turbocharged V6. It's powerful, it sounds good, minus the slight delay at the beginning there. It is a great drivetrain, transmission, all that good stuff. And as we're about to see in the interior, one of the other primary reasons for choosing a Quattroporte in the Maserati lineup over the Ghibli is because this is a far better built vehicle than the Ghibli, man. Not only is it larger and you can actually fit massive humans in here, that's not the only thing. You're getting a far higher quality machine with this. It's just way better the way it's put together. So let's go ahead, let's transition over into the interior segment and let's talk about that. And now that we are stopped, let's go ahead and let's talk about this interior space, because this and the Maserati Gran Turismo, both of these vehicles have the best interior quality out of all the products that they make, and that obviously makes sense because these are the two most expensive products in their lineup. These are their flagships, but dude, the Ghibli, that's still an expensive car, and man, it is just not built this well. And also, this is much quieter too. We have double pane glass here for these windows, and there's hardly any wind noise, tire noise, anything like that. The Ghibli drove great. I don't have an issue with that, but it's just so much louder and rattly in there. So if you can budget for a Quattroporte, definitely go for this. And the leathers in here have aged extremely well. I mean, this is not some super high mileage vehicle, but it is kind of older, right? It's what, like 7 years old now? Going on to about 8 years old. Man, time really flies, but anyway. But it's not perfect in here. Like, we have this dashboard, right? It's clearly not of the same quality, and it's kind of starting to wrinkle slightly, so you can kind of see that on the camera. But aside from that fault, it's really rather put together nicely. It's not like the finest of materials everywhere, like you have some plastics and things, but at least those plastics are solid in here. We have the traditional stuff, automatic headlights, one-touch up and down windows for all 4 windows. I do like this sort of first generation, or maybe it's a second generation, Uconnect system here, right? Many people, they like to complain that this is just like a Chrysler or something. And yeah, we do have a lot of those part sharing going on here, like with the window switches and things like that. But hey, at least those things work. These are just kind of the compromises that you have to make going with this brand, because if you want this brand cachet, like, would you look at that? Like, this thing has so much swagger and gets so much respect. It gets so many like people's heads turning. However, it's not like the best built vehicle or anything like that. So it's interesting the way prestige works in our society, right? Regardless of that, the infotainment works great. It reacts really well. It's still quick to respond. It does have the built-in navigation as well. We also have that Maserati clock. It's like an oval shape. The steering wheel is extremely girthy. It reminds me of like a BMW steering wheel with these massive paddle shifters. And again, please do take advantage of the paddles. It's really enjoyable to use when you have it in the sport mode. It's actually not like a complete waste of time. And these things do about 177 miles an hour. This V6 model that you see here, that's a top speed on it, and the speedometer goes up to about 190. You got yourself a CD player. The audio system isn't like awe-inspiring. It's not like the greatest sound system ever produced, but it's not bad. It gets a job done. I think the GTS I checked out had like a Harman Kardon, like the upgraded sound system, something like that. But the seating position is decent. It's not a terrible seating position, and obviously you can be a much larger individual and fit in here. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and let's talk about the rear seats, because that's a huge advantage over the Ghibli. If these are the two vehicles that you're comparing against, then this has incredible legroom, because this competes with like the extended wheelbase 7 Series, the A8. The Ghibli, even though it was like the size of a 5 Series or like an E-Class Mercedes, it had no rear legroom, and it was so difficult to get in the back seat of that. This is just easy. Getting in and out is not an issue. The leather quality back there, of course, is excellent, as it is in the front seat. You have your own little climate control vents, and you have these side electronic power shades. Great touch. The trunk is a massive size, and you even get a skinny spare tire back there as well. So with that established, let's go ahead and let's talk about the conclusions, because what we have here, it's a status symbol. That's the primary reason for buying this vehicle, but also because of that incredible drivetrain. Do not take that V6 for granted. If you're shopping for the V8, or you think you have to have the fully decked out V8 model, trust me, you don't need that. This is going to be incredible thrust. It's effortless. It sounds great, and also you get pretty decent fuel economy in this. It's like what, 16 in the city and like 21 or something like that on the highway. So the real world fuel economy is going to be far superior in this than the V8. Like a twin turbo V8, man, that's going to be getting like 12, 13 in the city, especially for a vehicle of this size and weight. Regardless, enjoy it. Go through those paddles, and it's not crazy decked out with a bunch of features like you might get in the S-Class. This is certainly the driver's flagship sedan. Like, you want a big car, you want to be able to fit a lot more people in the back or something like that, while not compromising on the handling characteristics, the braking, the agility of it, the body roll in this. It's really well contained, actually, for a vehicle of this size and weight. And the infotainment is easy to use. All the things that matter are easy, and there's hardly any learning curve. So if you're a little bit older, that can help out as well. But yeah, great price point. Just please make sure to take advantage of their warranty. That's the only way to buy this car. But you do that, I think you should be rather happy with it. So thanks again for watching this review. Take care, and goodbye.